Good morning, everybody, and welcome to yet another session of Daily Current Affairs with Sathya, sir, which is me, Sathya from IQ Ideas. Today is the 17th of June 2025, and it's raining. Monsoons have started apparently in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and I'll be going through the daily newspaper which comes to me every day and taking a look at the important current affair headlines and also try to pick up important or rather interesting articles for reading purposes for to improve English and words to improve the vocabulary. Okay, so starting with the main page, it says the center notifies census 2027 NPR unlikely to be updated. So, census 2027, we have had a talk about this in the past couple of days where we took a look at what is census, and there was another news update regarding the use of technology where instead of two entire years to compile the data, it was claimed to be possible in under 9 months. So this news says that the center officially notifies the census to be conducted in 2027, which was put on hold for 5 years. But there is no going to be a parallel updation of the NPR. So the NPR is the National Population Register. So NPR, which is the National Population Register, if you have been following news since a few years, then you would recall that the NPR was a lot in the news some 3 to 4 years back, and a lot of people were against this, saying that such an enumeration is not going to be in favor of things and it's dictatorship, fascism, and whatnot. So this news article says that there's not going to be a updation of the National Population Register. So the reference date for the census 2027, which is the first to be held in digital mode, will be 00 hours of the first day of March 2027. So we can expect that all things being equal, ceteris paribus, 0000 of 1st March 2027 can be the expected date when this will start. And it says that for the union territories of Ladakh and snowbound areas of Jammu Kashmir, Himachal and Uttarakhand, the reference date will be advanced by 6 months. So that would be on 00 hours of the first day of October 26. Okay. Now, most probably this is to avoid all the snowfall which may happen and the adverse conditions which may make it difficult for the enumerators to carry on their data. So, it's for enumerators, it says that since the caste may be recorded only in the population enumeration phase of census 27, intent in this regard may be notified only next year. Great. And it says that it will reorient about 34 lakh enumerators and supervisors and about 1.3 lakh functionaries in the use of the apps and the census management and monitoring system. So this entire article is going to be pretty interesting because the census has definitely been in the news the past week. Moving on, there is something which says the FATF slams Pahalgam attack. It couldn't happen without funds. So FATF, which is the Financial Action Task Force. So the Financial Action Task Force, or FATF, is a Paris-based intergovernmental body, and this body has condemned the Pahalgam attacks. It says that the FATF notes with grave concern and condemns the brutal terrorist attack in Pahalgam on April 22nd, 25. This and other recent attacks could not occur without money and means to move funds between terrorist supporters. So FATF is basically a Paris-based. So important updates. This is located out of Paris. It was established in the year 1989, and its main function is to combat money laundering and terror financing. So to combat money laundering and terror financing, these are the main purposes of the FATF. And then there is something called the FATF grey list. So the FATF grey list is it includes countries with deficiencies in anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing regimes. and it says it is subject to increased monitoring and must work with FATF to improve their regimes. And such countries may face sanctions from institutions like IMF and World Bank and adverse effect on trade and investment. So two important news on the deadlines. Other than that, there is a small article which says there is a hope to conclude free trade agreement with the European Union by year end. Okay, other than that, no major news, although a couple of updates related to the unfortunate airplane crash which happened on 12th of June. The City News page also has major updates on the news, but more of human interest articles. The next page is all about the monsoon which has hit and the poor condition of the infrastructure. So I don't see any major read-worthy information there. The next page of City has just news related to the city, not important from the current affairs perspective for students. The page of the state again has updates related to either the monsoon which has just started in the state or things related to human interest stories, not very important from the current affairs perspective. Okay, let's move on to the next page, the nation page. The bold headlines is India backs Cyprus in fight against Turkey. Great. So, Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India and President of Cyprus, Nikos Christodoulidis, pardon my pronunciation. The PM on his visit to Cyprus has made some remarks, and the important thing to just take away from this is that the location of Cyprus, which is Western Asia, and the President of Cyprus, which is Nikos Christodoulidis. Okay, so you can just go through that article to see what were the remarks made. Other than that, there is a report by CIPRI which says China is adding 100 nuclear warheads annually. So what exactly is CIPRI is what you need to identify, right? Okay. Other than that, we move on to the next page, which is again many of them related to the unfortunate aeroplane crash, and as a reference to the helicopter crash which happened at Kedarnath, a sad state of affairs. The next page, we come to my favorite, which is the middle column or the editorial page, where there is a opinion article by Abhishek Singhvi, who is the senior advocate in Supreme Court and a Rajya Sabha member. The title says, "Please quit Justice Verma." And the byline reads, "His fate is in Parliament's hands now and the odds are stacked against him. First ever sacking of an High Court judge would be degrading for the judiciary's position." So something should be an interesting read for students who are preparing for various law entrance examinations. The three opinion articles to the left, the first one is related to the census, where self-enumeration may be among the toughest challenges in the huge exercise. The next one is friends with benefits, an unfortunate phrase, but the byline, most countries today prefer keeping options open rather than locking in ties that may help stave off the World War III. So, prima facie, it is related to Prime Minister Modi's visit to Cyprus, and I would definitely read it. And the end, silent black box, what gadgets of doomed aircraft never record. So, opinion article by Kannan Somasundaram of the Times of India. Pardon me. Then there's another opinion article in the middle piece by Manmohan Bahadur, where it is, "Are low fares making Chardham choppers risky?" With the byline, "Cheap tickets are forcing operators to fly too many trips, disregarding pilot fatigue, machine maintenance, and risks from terrain and weather." So this is an opinion article connected to the unfortunate helicopter crash which happened. Next on the special page related to zoology, this being the World Crocodile Day. So after 50 years of rescue effort, gharial still face extinction. I would read this article as an English reading comprehension passage and try to pick up words of vocabulary from the same. On the global page, update regarding the Iran-Israel conflict, where Iran is urging President Donald Trump of US to make Israel halt war. An interesting update, Britain MI6 gets first female chief. So just like you have various intelligence agencies, the RAW for India, Mossad for Israel, Britain has its MI6, and this news article says that Blaise Materwell will probably be the first, is the first female chief of this intelligence agency. Other than that, there are small articles which you can peruse, but nothing major. On the business page, uh, crude awakening, companies wait and watch. So related to escalation of West Asia conflict may impact demand recovery in near term. So how is the Israel-Iran conflict affecting business, affecting oil prices, is something which finance and economics aspirants can probably read this article for. Then it says D Street ignores Iran-Israel conflict and Sensex is up by 678 points. Interesting. Moving on to the next page, in the business page, the individual news is, but nothing which seems to be a major long-term current affairs news. On the sports page, uh, again, a lot of opinion articles, lot of informative articles, but none which seems to be a current affairs related thing. And again, in the last page, devoted half to sports, half to nation, there are small interesting pieces, none which seem to be major news to be kept in long-term memory. But I would definitely advise that you read a lot of these articles, because they can help you update yourself with small snippets like who plays a particular sport or which trophy is connected to which sport, so on and so forth. So with that, this is B Sathya signing off with today's daily dose of current affairs. Make sure that you keep reading news which are repeatedly being published. Things like Trump's tariff issues, the Iran-Israel conflict, the upcoming census 2027, so on and so forth. So here's wishing you all the best. Have a good day.